Hello and welcome everyone to the daily news analysis of 22nd of December 2023। तो इम्पोर्टेंट आर्टिकल जो है हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर से कमिंग सोन ए क्राइटेरिया फॉर ऑयल स्पिल हिट बार्स एट क्रीक इन तमिलनाडु। 5-time evaluate Debnani elected new speaker of Rajasthan Assembly. India skills report finds Kerala the most preferred state to work. Then Bangalore airport wins award at UNESCO's 2023 Prix Versailles. Then questionable research under the Money Laundering Act, staying alert, analyzing the post office bill, Parliament clears laws to repeal IPC CRPC Evidence Act. Then next under new law, doctor faces 2 years of imprisonment for death due to negligence. Center approves the deployment of CISF in Parliament complex. Fast article जो है coming soon, a cafeteria for oil spill hit bar at creek in Tamil Nadu. While casting a new to trap bars is not something wildlife enthusiasts will ever recommend in Ennore Creek, it has been recommended purely as an act of conservation. Experts from the Wildlife Trust of India (WTI) and the Besant Memorial Animal Dispensary (BMAD) are planning to establish feeding stations for birds at creek where contamination due to an oil spill from industries in the Manali has brought down the birds' population drastically. To do so, they would first have to catch the birds. The State Department of Environment, Climate Change and Forest, the nodal agency for the oil spill cleanup, has roped in WTI to work with local volunteers and the wildlife warden in Chennai to assess how the affected birds could be rescued and rehabilitated. While most of the birds, both healthy and oil-drenched, have flown away to other part of the city like Pali, Pallikaranai and Koam, the authorities have found that the 10 pelican and painted stocks have been badly affected after a race of Ennore. NVK Ashraf, Chief Veterinary Officer and Vice President at WTI, told the Hindu the very fact that some have flown away means that they can take care of themselves, but some birds will require interventions and two or three of them are very weak. The challenge will be in capturing them as birds are difficult to trap. The team is planning to strategically set up cafeteria with a net to feed the birds with fresh fish and capture those that are sick. I said Shravan Kishan of BMAD. In places where motorized boats cannot reach, paddles boats from Bay of Life, a surf school from Kovalam will be used. The feeding stations will be set up for a week. According to Mr. Ashraf, the larger impact is on the fish. Some fish will die, others will survive. The ecosystem will come back. This is just a momentary toxicity. The next article है 5-time MLA Debnani elected new speaker of Rajasthan Assembly. 5-time BJP MLA Vasudev Debnani was on Thursday unanimously elected as the Speaker of the 16th Rajasthan Assembly. Chief Minister Bhajan Lal Sharma moved the motion for Mr. Debnani's appointment, which was seconded by Congress leader and Tonk MLA Sachin Pilot. The House passed the motion with a voice vote by legislators from both the Treasury and opposition benches. Elected from Ajmer North, Mr. Debnani, 73, was the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh's face in the two BJP government headed by Vasundhara Raje. He was the education minister for 2 terms when he took some controversial decisions, including compulsory recitation of Saraswati Vandana and a mandatory exercise of Surya Namaskar in school. Mr. Damnani belongs to the Sindhi Hindu community which migrated en masse from Pakistan's Sindh province during the partition and settled among other regions in and around Ajmer. The ruling BJP has selected Mr. Devnani for the speaker's post to bring in the element of caste diversity in the government following the appointment of Mr. Sharma, a Brahmin, as the CM, and a Rajput and a scheduled caste person is the two deputy CM respectively after Mr. Sharma moved the motion for electing Mr. Devnani as the speaker. Similar motion were moved by former CM Mrs. Raje, Deputy CM Divya Kumari and Rashtriya Loktantrik Party MLA Hanuman Baniwal, pro-term speaker Kalicharan Saraf clubbed all the motions and announced them having been passed after they were put to vote. In his brief address, the House, Mr. Debrani expressed gratitude to the legislature for unanimously elected him and said the appointment of a victim of the tragedy of partition to the high post had exhibited the strength of democracy in the country. I will try to improve the standard of debates in the assembly and ensure that more settings of the House are convened every year, he said. Protect rights. Mr. Sharma said Mr. Debrani, with his prolonged experience with would bring dignity to the office of the Speaker. Mr. Pilot requested the new Speaker to protect the rights of the opposition MLA during the assembly proceedings. Mr. Devnani joined the RSS at a very young age and later served as the state president of the RSS student wing Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad ABVP for 9 years. The next article है India Skills Report finds Kerala the most preferred state to work. Kerala has emerged the most preferred state to work in the India Skill Report 2024. Kochi and Thiruvananthapuram have come second and fourth respectively among cities where both men and women prefer to work regardless of their age, according to the report published by the talent assessment agency who works in association with the various agencies including All India Council for Technical Education, Confederations of India, Indian Industry and Association of Indian Universities. The report, which surveyed 3.88 lakh youth through a national employability test conducted across the country, indicated the employability in India has improved with 51.25% of the assessed youth found to be employable with the required skills. Kerala, which was credited for ensuring a balanced approach towards education and honing future skills, he also secured the second position in overall employability among the 18 to 21 age group to reaffirm its status as a robust talent pool in the country. The report underscored Kerala's excellence in nurturing computer skills with Thiruvananthapuram claiming the first position among cities while Kerala came third overall among states. Kerala was also ranked third in terms of highest concentrations of employable talent in the BE, BTech, and Polytechnic domain, as well as for highest availability of English skills. The report stated that Kerala showcased a well-rounded talent pool that has enabled its performance across different skills regions with diverse skill sets are better equipped to meet the multifaceted demands of an evolving job market by ensuring resilience and adaptability, it added. Among the cities that are on the radar of corporates, Thiruvananthapuram was among those cities that has been making substantial strides, indicating a growing pool of highly skilled individuals in various regions of Kerala migrating to the state capital. Next article है Bangalore Airport wins award at UNESCO's 2023 Prix Versailles. Terminal 2 T2 of Kempegowda International Airport KIA in Bangalore has been recognized as one of the world's most beautiful airport and awarded the special prize for interior at the UNESCO's 2023 Prix Versailles. The World Judges Panel for the Prix Versailles 2023, chaired by renowned fashion designer Elie Saab, announced the latest architectural project to win a world title according to Bangalore International Airport Limited BIAL, which operates KIA. The Prix Versailles focuses on intelligent sustainability as a cultural driver, acknowledging in innovation, creativity, reflection of local heritage, ecological efficiency, and values of social interaction. T2, known as the Terminal in a Garden, was inaugurated on November 11, 2022. The next article is questionable sources under the Money Laundering Act. The Enforcement of Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002 passed in the background of the India's commitment to the international community to fight the drug means and terrorism has caused much constraint, consternation, especially after its unusual interpretation by the Supreme Court of India by in Vijay Mandal Chaudhary versus ORS versus Union of India versus ORS 2022. The Supreme Court of India limited its applications to on the wrongful and illegal gain of property as a result of criminal activity returning relating to a scheduled offence. It is also held that the property must qualify the definitions of proceeds of crimes under Section 2, Clause 1, Subclause U of the 2002 Act. It went on to hold that the authority of the authorized officer to prosecute any prison person for offence of money laundering gets triggered only if there exists proceeds of a crime within the meaning of Section 2, Clause 1 and Subclause U of the 2002 Act, and further it is involved in any process or activity. The court emphatically held that in not even in a case of existence of undisclosed income and in irrespective of its volume, the definition of proceeds of crime under Section 2, Clause 1 and Subclause U will get attracted unless the property has been derived or obtained as a result of criminal activity relating to a scheduled offence. The law thus declared by the court which which bars one and all under Article 141 is clear. If the offence so reported is a scheduled offence, only in the eventuality the property recovered by the authorized officer would partake the color of proceeds of crimes under Section 2, Clause 1, Subclause U. Action under the Act in clarity, the court declared absent existence of proceeds of crimes and as aforesaid, the authorities under the 2002 Act cannot step in or initiate any prosecutions. The media has reported many cases of enforcement directorate ED searches, seizures, and arrests which are outside the ED's power as held by the court. Naturally, the conduct of the ED in this regard has resulted in severe criticism from the Supreme Court as seen in Pankaj Bansal versus Union of India recently. The court file setting aside the arrest orders along with orders of remand passed by the session judge Panchakula and affirmed by the High Court of Punjab and Haryana made damning observation. This chronology of events reflects rather poorly, if not negatively, on the ED's style of functioning. The ED maintained with far-reaching powers under the stringent Act of 2002 must be seen to be acting with utmost probity, discretion, and fairness. In the case on the hand, the ED failed to exercise its power. The court added surprisingly no consistent and uniform practice seems to be followed as written copies of the grounds of arrest are furnished to arrest persons in certain parts of the country, but in other areas the grounds of arrest are either read out to them or allowed to be read of them. But in November 2023, Justice Abhay S. Oka and Pankaj Mithal in PANDBAR versus the Directorate of Enforcement 2023 INSC 1029 address key aspect of the PMLA on a plain reading of Section 3 unless proceeds of a crime exist. There cannot be any money laundering offences and to constitute any property as proceeds of crime. It must be derived or obtained directly or indirectly by any persons as a result of criminal activity relating to a scheduled offence because the existence of a process of crime is sine qua non for the offence under the section 3 of the PMLA. Damaging to federalism. Yes, what is happening in some states that are governed by opposition is damaging to federalism. The Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act 1957 is not covered by the schedule of the PMLA Act and offences in relation thereto are not scheduled offences, yet the ED in these states is conducting inquiries with respect to the alleged illegal mining of sand and minor mineral under the control of states and not the union. The Mines Act has extensive provisions to curb evasion and enables penalty and prosecution for any illegal extraction of minerals, but that power is with the state government. In Jharkhand, the ED purportedly registered an enforcement case investigation report number 7 by 2023 on January 30, 2023 against the MLA of the ruling party and his associates based on the certain first information reports FIR filed by some person. While these complaints were under investigation, a writ petition was filed in the High Court by one Vijay Hansda, who was apparently in jail and who later on oath told the High Court that he had not authorized anyone to file that petition to refer these police cases to the Central Bureau of Investigation. Curiously, the ED was also made a party in this writ petition. The petition stated that the ED had started investigation pertaining to illegal mining and on the laundering of tainted monies generated from it, and that the petitioner was issued a summons where he appeared and offered assistance on the modus operandi of the alleged offender based on which the ED had apparently prepared a prosecution report. The ED affidavit said the suspects of the ECIR 7 by 2023 are habitual offenders who were a party in the activities connected with the process of crime. The ED claimed that illegal mining is being done in a rampant manner and the process dealt in cash. The ED at the stage was neither investigating a scheduled offence or nor did it have any property of crime. Clearly, the process of the court was abused. The alleged petitioner, once out of jail, sought withdrawal of a petition. The High Court refused permissions on August 8, 2023, and the next day delivered the judgment transferring the police cases to the CBI. It immediately registered the preliminary inquiry. The subsequently FIR, while a special leave petition (SLP) was filed by the alleged offenders before the Supreme Court, stating that they had not been heard by the High Court before passing the judgment. Besides contending that neither the CBI nor the ED had any jurisdiction in the matter. Even more shocking is the order of the bench on September 18, 2023. Permission to file special leave petition is granted. Issue notice in subsequent judicial development, and between September and November 2023 there were violation of procedures such as the notice issuing benches being challenged as contrary to the Supreme Court's rules 2023 and the Handbook on Practice and Procedure of and Office Procedure. Further, the latter bench was not persuaded by the argument put forth by the senior advocate for the alleged offender to grant interim relief in very deserving case where, besides questions of jurisdiction, there were pointers to the violation of natural justice, a selective targeting So now the CBI and the ED have absolute freedom to do what is not authorized under the judgment of the Supreme Court. Interestingly, the ED is in its affidavit before the High Court said that the accused Pankaj Mishra is a MLA representative of Jharkhand Chief Minister and is a very influential person. So the design is clear. Clearly, the process of the law is being abused in the innovative and lethal manner to target the political party ruling Jharkhand. Efforts are on by the ED to implement other governments in some states, including Tamil Nadu. The ED is singularly inactive in states run by the Bharatiya Janata Party, where the incident of illegal mining are far more serious. In Maharashtra, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, and Madhya Pradesh. In cases of illegal mining are 6,743 and 9,361 respectively. This raises extremely disturbing questions not only about the abuse of authority by central investigating agencies but also the abuse of the process of a court being permitted all along. If mines and minerals are not part of the scheduled offences and in a case where proceeds of crime are not non-existent, it is shocking that a should courts should allow such investigation to be carried out by the CBI and the ED. It is even more sad that the court do not ask these agencies about such actions in other states, but are ever so willing to condemn the administration in opposition governed states. Federalism is a part of the basic structure of the Constitution of India, its foundation is being slowly chipped away through such processes. Everybody, including constitutional institutions, appears to have forgotten what the Constitution stands for. Let us hope and pray that these machinations are carved forth to save the further downside of our cherished democracy. The next article is staying alert. India must sustain focus on genome sequencing for novel variants. The rapidly increasing spread of the JN1 variant across the globe has led to the prevalence of the variant, a descendant of the BA2.86 Omicron lineage, reaching over 27%, marking an eightfold increase in just a month. First identified in Luxembourg in late August this year, the JN1 variant has also become the dominant variant in a few countries. The variant is very likely to become the dominant strain globally compared with the parent lineage BA2.86. The JN1 variant carries an additional mutation L455S, first identified the Luxembourg in late August this year. The JN1 variant has also become the dominant variant in a few countries. The variant is very likely to become the dominant strain globally compared with the parent lineage BA2.86. The JN1 variant carries an additional mutation L455S in the spike protein, which enhances its immune evasion significantly. Like other Omicron sublineages, the JN1 variant 2 has a high transmissibility. The winter season in the northern hemisphere will thus make it easier for the virus to spread despite the increased escape capability and transferability. No major outbreak has been reported so far, prompted by the presence of JN1 variant in most countries and its rapidly increasing spread. The World Health Organization classified JN1 as a separate variant of interest a couple of days ago. JN1 was previously tracked as part of the BA2.86 but now accounts for vast majority of the BA 2.86 lineage based on available limited evidence of the global health body has noted that JN1 is not associated with increased disease severity compared with other circulating variants. Evidence from countries that have reported a surge in case and hospitalizations driven by the JN1 variant does not suggest higher fatality. Though the first COVID-19 case caused by the JN1 variant was detected in Kerala during routine surveillance, Goa has reported the greatest number of the cases so far. 19 India has so far reported 21 JN1 cases. In all the 21 cases have been clinically mildly requiring home isolation. In the last fortnight, India has registered a sharp increase in the number of COVID-19 cases, while universal masking should surely not be made mandatory at this point in time. It is highly desirable that the high-risk individuals mask up, especially in poorly ventilated closed spaces, as COVID-19 deaths in the people with commodities are still being reported in India. In a welcome move, all patients will influenza-like illness (ILI) and serve acute respiratory infection (SARI) are being tested for COVID-19 and positive cases are sequenced as part of the revised surveillance guidelines. Likewise, there should be sustained focus on genome sequencing for novel variants. Finally, India should learn from past mistakes and refrain from stemming states that report more cases and or novel variants. States that have a better surveillance and display greater integrity in testing and reporting are bound to register more cases. Public health should neither be communalized or nor politicized. The next, analyzing the Post Office Bill 2023. On December 18, the Parliament passed the Post Office Bill 2023 that seeks to replace the colonial era Indian Post Office Act 1898. According to the government, the legislation is an attempt to ensure the effective functioning of the postal department as a messenger service and as a provider of banking facilities. What are the key features of the bill? The Post Office Bill 2023 allows the interceptions of articles transmitted via post on grounds such as the security of the state, friendly relations with the current states, for public orders, emergency, public safety, or contraventions of the provisions of the bills or any other laws. The office in charge appointed by the Union government is empowered to intercept, open, or detain any postal circle on the aforementioned grounds. Such an item can also be disposed of by the government in a manner it deems appropriate. The Union government by notification can also empower any officer of the post office to deliver a postal article suspected of containing any prohibited items to the custom authority or any items to the custom authority or any other specified authority. The bill exempts the post office from incurring any liability pertaining to its services. It specially stipulates that no officer shall incur any liability unless the officer has acted fraudulently or willfully caused any loss, delay, or misdelivery of services. There are also no offences and penalties specified under the bill except one. Amounts not paid by a user will be recoverable as arrears of land revenue. The 1898 Act contained offences such as theft, misappropriations, or destructions of postal articles, which are punishable with imprisonment up to 7 years and a fine. However, such offences and penalties were subsequently removed by the John Biswas Amendment Provision Act 2023. What are the concerns raised? Shaktisn Gohil of the Indian National Congress (INC) said that the bill violates the fundamental rights to privacy. A right to privacy is a fundamental right. I know the security is important, and you are doing this to protect people. But in the name of security, we have all seen recently how a company renowned globally for its hard to intercept software warned that state-sponsored hacker are trying to hack your mobile. We MPs also got this message. The parliamentarian was referring to the recent email alerts received by several opposition leaders and journalists from US-based tech giants, apply informing Tom that their digital devices were being targeted by state-sponsored attacks. Similarly, P. Wilson of the Dravid Munnetra DMK underscored that the bills in the absence of guidelines encourages state surveillance and violates Article 14, 19, Clause 1, Subclause A and Article 21 of the Constitution. He also flagged how a post officer can be empowered to exercise search and seizure power by granting such powers the privacy of all the citizens who use the services of Indian Post is severely compromised since there is no provision in the bill which injuncts the officers from leaking any contents of the intercepted postal articles, Mr. Wilson said. Similarly, Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party said that the bill suffers from Big Brother syndrome and allows the government to monitor citizens. The opposition leader also pointed out that the law does not clarify the grounds for interceptions. For instance, it does not stipulate what would qualify as an emergency ground for interception under Section 9 Clause 1 of the bill. Sukhendu Shekhar Ray of the All India Trinamool Congress called the cause clause absolutely vague and pointed out that it gives unbridled powers to the authorities concerned. Mr. Ray also pointed out that the bill fails to specify the procedure for interception, thus making it arbitrary in nature, referring to the provision stating that interception may be carried out by the union government, state government, or any officer specially authorized by them. Several MPs raised concern that it does not provide clarity on how these officers will be selected, especially since they have been empowered to open and detain any intercepted shipments. Congress MP Shashi Tharoor pointed out in the Lok Sabha that the bill does not provide any grievances redressal mechanism to citizens despite relieving post officers of any liability with regard to the services offered, referring to Section 9 of the bill that permits interceptions. Mr. Tharoor underscored that there is no clause in the legislation asking the government to inform a citizen about such actions, and thus a citizen will unable to raise concerns, interception, or contest the actions. This violates every principle of natural justice and due process of law, he added. Ashwini Vaishnav, Union Minister of Communication and Information and Broadcasting, states that owing to India's complex and diverse society, it is very important that interception is done, and this kind of provisions is kept in the law for purposes of national security. He also clarified that the government will soon frame rules containing the procedure for interceptions and that such a procedure will be fair and transparent. What has been the bill? What has been the history of the bill? Similar to the ground of emergency under the Bill of 1898 Act permits interceptions on grounds of public emergency. While examining the Act, the Law Commission of India in its 38th report pointed out that since the term emergency has not been explicitly defined, it provides a wide ground for interceptions. It also flagged that since the term has not been defined in the Constitution, it cannot serve as a reasonable ground for suspension of fundamental rights under Article 19 Clause 1. The Commission highlighted that the state of public emergency must be such that is not secretive and is apparent to a reasonable man. Accordingly, it recommended that the legislature should amend the existing law relating to interception to ensure that they adhere to the Constitution. This led to enactment of the Telegraph Amendment Act of 1981. A provision permitting interception was introduced earlier in the Indian Post Office Amendment Bill 1986. It empowered the Union Government of the state government or any authorized officer to intercept or detain any postal article on the following grounds: public safety or tranquility, the sovereignty and the integrity of India, the security of the state, friendly relation with foreign states, public order, or for preventing incitement to the commissions of any offence or on the occurrence of any public emergency while the bill was passed by both houses. The former President Jail Singh neither assented nor returned the bill to the parliament for reconsideration. He demoted the office in July 1987. As a result, the legislation remained the limbo and was withdrawn by the Vajpayee government in 2002. What are the relevant Supreme Court rulings in the People's Union for Civil Liberties? PUCL versus Union of India 1996. The constitutionality of Section 5 Clause 2 of the Telegraph Act was challenged for permitting telephonic interceptions without any due process guarantees. The Supreme Court acknowledged that telephone tapping infringed upon the fundamental right to privacy and created safeguards against arbitrariness in the exercise of a state's surveillance power. It underscored that in the absence of a just and fair procedure to regulate the powers of interception, it is not possible to safeguard the rights of citizens under Articles 19 Clause 1 Sub Clause A and Article 21 in the landmark verdict Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India 2017. The Supreme Court unanimously declared the right to privacy to be a fundamental right of all Indians. The verdict stipulated that any state measures that purposes to interface with the right to privacy must satisfy certain requirements. Legality: the measure is authorized by statute. Legitimate goal: measure pursues a for proper purpose. Stability: the measure takes meaningful steps towards achieving the proper purposes. Necessity: the measure is the least rights restrictive measures amongst equally effective alternatives. Proper proportionality: the measure does not disproportionately impact individual rights and procedural safeguards. The measure incorporates meaningful guardrails against possible abuse. Additionally, the court had opined with respect to the Pegasus spyware scandal that the state did not get a free pass every time the specter of national security is raised. National security cannot be bugbear that the judicial shies away from by virtue of its mere mentioning. What have the experts said? There is an absolute lack of safeguards under this bill. It is not as if the union government cannot have the power to notify a person to inspect, intercept, open or detain a postal item. The issue is that there is a lack of the usual requirement that accompany such interceptions orders, such as a reasons to be recorded in writings. Why is it being done? There needs to be justifiable reasons, says Apar Gupta, lawyer and founding director of Internet Freedom Foundation, highlighting how the bill encourages state surveillance. He asserts we must also, remember that the issue is that the interception provision is tied to the provision of services, and their services include citizens delivery services. For instance, people who need to enroll for electoral cards or obtain police verifications will avail of such postal services. So there is a possibility of state surveillance because there are no safeguard at all. Even orders in writings are not needed any longer. The next article, a Parliament clears the laws to repeal IPC CRPC Evidence Act, and next a Parliament passes bills to replace the PRB Act. The Rajya Sabha on third part the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanghita Bill, the Bharatiya Nagarika Suraksha Sanghita Bill, and the Bharatiya Sakya Bill, which will replace the Indian Penal Code 1860, the Code of Criminal Procedure 1898, and the Indian Evidence Act 1872, respectively. The Lok Sabha had passed the bill on Wednesday, hailing the passage of the bill as historic. Chairman Jagdeep Dhankar said the bill would replace the colonial era criminal justice system. The opposition member boycotted the proceeding, demanding a statement from the Home Minister Amit Shah on the Parliament security breach. The bills were passed unanimously in their absence. Mr. Shah said the bills would mark a new beginning in the history of the country's criminal justice system. He said the bills would form the base of making the country's justice system the most modern in the world. Mr. Shah said the criminal justice system was being governed by three laws brought by the British after 1857 struggle for freedom. He said that for the first time the justice system would be based on laws framed and passed by Indians from FIR to judgment. All processes would be online and the new laws had tried to accommodate the changes in technology in the process of administration and policing. He said, Mr. Shah said a victim would get justice within 3 years. He said the new bills had defined all forms of terrorism and that perpetrators of organized crimes would be punished. He said the post of director of prosecutions would be made compulsory in every district. Then Parliament passes bill to replace the PRB Act. Parliament on Thursday passed the press and registration of periodicals bills to make the process of allotment of the title and registration of periodical simple through an online system with the requirement of a physical interference. It replaces the Press and Registration of Books Act 1867. The next article is Center approves the deployment of CISF in Parliament Complex. The Union Home Ministry has approved the deployment of Central Industrial Security Force CISF in the Parliament Complex according to a government order. The decision comes days after the December 13 security breach in the Parliament. Delhi police security personnel who were responsible for risking and baggage scanning were suspended after the incident. In principle, approval of the competent authority is convened for carrying out the survey of the parliament premises and its buildings for regular deployment of CISF. Both the security wing and fire wing on comprehensive patterns under the government building security. The order issued on Wednesday read the parliamentary force is deployed at other central government buildings, airports, and Delhi metro stations. Went undetected. The accused who entered on a visitor's pass when recommended by Bharatiya Janata Party's member Pratap Sharma. Pratap Simha had hidden the canister in their shoes which went undetected by security personnel. The overall security inside the parliament is administered by the Lok Sabha Secretariat, while the access control such as frisking and desk handling scanning and the baggage is the responsibility of the Delhi Police. The Parliament Duty Group DPDG and armed component of the Central Reserve Police Force CRPF is deployed in the case an armed intervention is required. The Parliament Security Service under the Lok Sabha Speaker is overall in charge of the security. Then next, India receives prize bids for 26 Rafale jets, and 3 submarines. India has received a prize bids from France for the purchase of 26 Rafale M carrier-based fighter as well as 3 additional Scorpion class conventional submarines. While the Rafale M is being processed through an intergovernmental agreement, the submarine deal is a follow on to the earlier contract with naval group under which Mazagon Dockyard Shipyards Limited (MDL) Mumbai manufactured 6 submarines in India. The Defence Ministry has already set up a committee to arrive at the benchmark price for the submarine deal, sources said. Letter of acceptance. In response to the India's request, France submitted a letter of acceptance earlier this week outlining the pricing and order details of its offer 26 Rafale M jets which are meant to operate from the Navy's 2 aircraft carrier, sources confirmed. Meanwhile, MDL has submitted its commercial offer for 3 more Scorpions to the Indian Navy on December 11. It has been learnt the Scorpion deal. Defence Ministry has formed a costing committee for internal benchmarking of the deal value and the commercial offer. MDL would be opened after the internal benchmarking is complete, sources has stated, while the formal Procurement process has now commenced for the Rafale deal following receipt of the bid. It is not yet clear if a costing committee would be set up the price and the other terms of purchase will be negotiated with the French government after taking into account all relevant aspects including comparative process procurement price of similar aircraft by other countries. The defense ministry had stated earlier on July 13th as the Prime Minister Narendra Modi was en route to Paris. The Defence Acquisition Council, chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, accorded its acceptance of necessity for the procurement of 26 Rafale M fighter and three additional Scorpion class diesel electric submarine from France. The deal includes 22 single-seater Rafale M fighter and four twin-seater Rafale trainer, which are not carrier compatible, filling the gaps. The 26 jets are meant to fill the gap in the number of numbers till the indigenous twins engine deck-based fighter still under development is inducted into services. The Navy currently operates two aircraft carrier, the INC Vikramaditya and indigenously built INS Vikrant, as reported by the Hindu earlier. Both the contracts are expected to be concluded by the end of 2024 and delivery of the submarine is likely to begin in 2021. The major differences between the existing Scorpions and the new ones is their integrated combat system. Sources explained the earlier submarines had systems from France, while the new ones will have indigenous ICS with significant locality solutions provided by Bharat Electronics Limited in collaboration with French suppliers, a source said. देन आज का लास्ट जो आर्टिकल है, मिसिंग फॉर 42 years नामदाफा फ्लाइंग स्क्विरल रिसोर्स resurfaces in अरुणाचल प्रदेश. A nocturnal flying squirrel has resurfaced in Arunachal Pradesh after going missing for 42 years. The Namdapha flying squirrels was last described in 1981 based on a single individual found in the 1985 square kilometer Namdapha Tiger Reserve in Arunachal Pradesh, Changlang district. The failure of a geologist to locate the arboreal mammal during several expeditions thereafter generated two theories that it could have been mistaken for very similar red giant flying squirrel, Petasia, sharing the same ecosystem or oars become history. That 10 of these expeditions were by teams from Aranyaka and Assam-based Biodiversity Conservation Group for a total of 79 days. In 2021, a team from the group finally sighted the Namdapha flying squirrels in April 2022. The team led by Firoz Ahmad included Saurabh Gupta, a field researcher, and Saurabh Maddi, a volunteer, Tanjung Yumcha, a research officer with the Arunachal Pradesh Forest Department, aided the search for the elusive species. We sighted a small reddish and a grizzled furry mammal high up a tree. After a month scrutiny of the photographic evidence we gathered, experts are pretty much sure that the animal is Namdapha flying squirrels. Mr. Ahmed said study to collect DNA. The team members said they are designing a study to collect DNA samples of the squirrels in the field for comparing the genetic material with the DNA of the individual collected in 1981, stored at the Zoological Survey of India in Kolkata. In the animal sighted during our last expedition is established as the Namdapha flying squirrel. It will be a powerful flagship for conservation for both the Tigers Reserve and other wildlife species found here, Mr. Ahmad said. So, friends, this is all for today, and we will meet from tomorrow onwards with new news articles from the Hindu newspaper. So, till then, keep studying and have a good day. Thank you.